Okay, we're in the middle of a sugya that began Rabbi din of Halach. Halach is an interesting sugya. In other words, a person comes along and he claims you owe me $100, and you say, I only owe you 50, and here it is. So let's say we just said I only owe you 50. So that would be a classic Moed Mitzvahs. And he would go ahead, he'd swear that he'd pay him the 50, and he'd swear he doesn't owe him the other 50. But over here, he's saying Halach. What does Halach do? According to Rabbi, nothing. According to Rabbi, it blives a Moed Mitzvahs. According to Rav Sheshes, it makes that you're not donning on that 50. Since he says it's here, or according to Rashi, wherever it's located, I never used it, and it's in your jurisdiction, right? It's in your jurisdiction. We're not donning that 50. It's like, so therefore it blives that he's kaifa b'kol. Once that 50 is taken care of, so he's saying, I don't owe you anything. If a person denies and says, I don't owe you anything, then he's pata. That's Rav Sheshes. So according to Rav Chia, Halach is chayiv. According to Rav Sheshes, it's not. And we're picking it up on Dalin Amid Beis, about 14 lines up. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, exactly 14 lines up. Okay. Masid Marzutra Bereid Rav Nachman. Tanu Kalim V'Karkois. A person's claiming from an individual that you owe me Kalim, which is metaltalin, which is subject to a shvua, V'Karkois, which is not subject to a shvua. Hoide b'Kalim, he's moide in the Kalim, V'Kofa b'Karkois. So there's no shvua, guys, right? Because he's moide to the Kalim, and the karka is no shvua. Hoide b'Karkois, if he's moide in the karka that he owes him, V'Kofa b'Kalim, potter. In both these cases, you'll be potter from a shvua, because karka, there's no nishboin al karkois. Hoida mixas karkois, if you moide in part of the karkois, which is a shvua moide mixas, potter. Again, anytime it has to do with karka, you potter. We had this in Baba Kav Zayin and Baba Kama, right? And what do you mechayiv? Oh, I'll call dvar pesha, I'll show v'chor hashav al salma, right? Dovim metalto v'gufay mamin. It has to be something that's carried, and in itself is money. Yotza shtoros, yotza karka v'avodim, right? Yotza karka, which is not metaltel. Yotza avodim, which is hukush lekarka. Yotzu shtoros, which what? Even though it's metaltel, ain't gufay mamin. That's the limud we have if it rings a bell. If it doesn't ring a bell, you've been wrong. Now, so miktsas kalim, if he's moide miktsas kalim chayiv on everything. Okay, if he's moide miktsas kalim, you be chayiv. Haimed the kalim v'karkois. The reason you're potter is you're moide v'kalim v'karkois. The karka lav bashvuahu he. A kalim v'kalim dumya the kalim v'karkois chayiv. But let's say it's kalim v'kalim. Similar to Kalim, of course, you'd be chayiv. Now, what exactly is the case of Kalim v'Kalim in a Moed Mixas? Hechidami, lav da'amalei Halach. In other words, karka, Halach is similar to karka. Karka is here right now. Halach, here it is right now. So, by Kalim and karka, you put up because of what? Because of the fact you can't go ahead and swear on karka. But let's go ahead and supplant the words karka with Kalim that is similar to karka, meaning it's here right now. Right? That's Halach. And nonetheless, what? You will be chayiv. Is a kasha on Rav Sheshes who says Halach is potter. Ushmamino Halach chayiv, a raya to Rav Chia, and a kasha on Rav Sheshes. Says more like, I'll tell you, Kalim Nami's potter. Right? Why? Because Halach is potter. Why do you learn Kalim v'karka? Hakamashmalan, that hoida mixas Kalim, if you be moide in mixas Kalim, chayiv ala karkois. Guys, here was the case. You were moida in all of the kalim, and you were kaifa in the karka. You don't swear. There's no moida b'mixas. Good. What happens if I'm moida in part of the kalim? What if I'm moida in part of the kalim? So now I have to swear on kalim. Good. You know what? Now you'll swear in the karka as well. Now you'll swear in the karka as well, and this is what's called gilgul shua. This is what's called gilgul shua. You'll remember from kedushin. You remember from kedushin. So that's the chiddush. The reason why you learn kalim v'karkois and not kalim v'kalim is to teach me the chiddush. When do we say kalim v'karka? You don't swear. Is if you're moida in all of the kalim. But if you're moida in only part of the kalim, which creates a chiyuv in the kalim for a shvua, even though you koif in the karka, you would go ahead and you would swear in the karka as well. Why? Al yidei gilgul. Now, who's saying this? Is my the question is, so Mazutra is asking Rav Nachman, and Rav Nachman tells him this is the chiddush. So now says the Gemara, my kamash malon, what's the chiddush? That if you're going to swear in kalim, you swear in karka as well. The kamash is zoikagin. The chiddush is what? Zoikagin. Zoikagin is the lashon of your mizakek. You make one as a result of one shua, we're going to throw on another. Tanino, we learned it in Masech the Kedushin. Zoikin the chasim she'en lemachrayis. That's metaltalin, guys. Zoikin the chasim she'en lemachrayis. Es hanechasim sheyesh lemachrayis. It's zoikik. It causes nechasim sheyesh lemachrayis. Lishav aleihem, to swear on them, right? So what do you see? So what's the chiddush? What's Rav Nachman telling me? I have a brisa telling me, it was really actually it's a mishnah telling me that what? There's a din of zoikikin, that you can be megalgal a shvur and karka on metaltalin. And for the Gemara, hacha ikka, hasam agav grora nasva. Here is the main source. This Tanu Kalim is the main source. That is learned agav. Agav is correct, guys. That's the sugya of kinyanim. If you go ahead and purchase from a person karka and metaltalin, what's the halacha? Once you make a kinyan in the karka, wherever the metaltalin is, it's going to go ahead and schlep it along, right? That's it's called the kinyan agav. So agav that we learned this similar thing. I would not even say excuse the pun, but agav that you're learning the din of zoikakin. You can schlep along a non-shvua like karka with a shvua of metaltalin. So hakam ikka hasam agav rav. Now ulamandi amahelech pater. Now this is geshmaka kasha. We just proved, we went through the limud that by karka there's no shvua. Ulamanda amahelech pater. Amai itzrich kra lumute karka mishvua. Hakol karka helechu. Why would you need a pasuk to tell me einish bayin al karkois by moedim mixas? If in fact what? If in fact that it's helech, since it's in front of you right now. So and since moedim mixas behelech is pater from a shvua, why would I need a limud of a klalu prato klal in Masechta Shuas and Masechta Baba Kama? Why would I need that limud? After all, according to the helech is pater, it's not moedim mixas. Again, you're kai for bekoil because the helech is the karka. Every karka is helech. Amalach. So I'll tell you, it's the kra. Heicha de chafa barin sichen ma'arais, where you destroy the land. It's not halach anymore. You dug up the land. You're going to have to restore another land. Then it's not halach. Halach is what? Halach is, here it is. Like the same way it was, here it is now. Right? Rashi said, I never used the money. We spoke at the Rashba that it's only speaking about a mashkin. We're speaking about a pikadin that's been trusted, or karka, where you know that it's in the rishus of the Baal, wherever it is. So therefore, this is you destroyed it. There's no halach here. Inami, heicha de tanu kalim v'karkois. In a case where you are toyin kalim v'karka, v'hoide b'kalim v'kofir b'karkois. In that case where he's moedin the kalim, which is not halach, guys, right? There it's not halach. So you need a pasuk to tell me you don't swear on the karka. What's the kasha, guys? Every karka is halach, correct? So every karka is halach. Then why do you need by the mixes? Why do you need a lean with the tummy not? So we give two examples. One where the karka is not halach because it's destroyed, or this case, you're moida in kalim. Now, if you wouldn't have what? If you the koifer bekarkois, that would be moida b'mixas. If you wouldn't have a limit on the karka to tell me there's no shvua. Now that you told me karka there's no shvua, when you're moida b'kalim, the koifer bekarka, there's no shvua. That's the need for that case. Tashma, the 20 Roy Barchama. Arba shoymim tzricha kfira b'mixas. But the 4 shoymim, you need to do 3 things. You have to, as we're going to see, you have to be koifer b'mixas, v'hoida b'mixas. So shemachinam v'ashoyel nesasacha v'asaycher hechidami lav da'on le'helech, right? That it must be a case where he told him helech. We have to see Rashi for this, guys. Let's see Rashi. Firulei havi ella b'koifer mamish. He denies getting it whatsoever. Either oiloi hayu devar me oilam, Either he says, I never got it, or I returned it to you. So that's the case of kfira. Hoidel lehavi elam kain hoda mamish, where he's mamish moded to what he says. Sheyesh la biyadai shechayiv lahachsala. He has it in his hand, and he has to return it to him now. Nimsa shein chiyav shuas hashoimrim ba'al ella in kain toyin shalish parais. The case is what he's going to claim 3 cows. Ba'achas kafala, when he says you never gave it to me, or I returned it to you. Uba'achas hoidala sheyeshna biyadai, when he's masking, I still have it. Ba'ashlishas oimaloi ne'nasa, and the third one he says, if he was a shem esacha, he says it's a ninus. Ayim shemachino hu oimaloi b'shlishas nigdam, it was stolen. The chayev aleho shvuas amur parsha. Then he be chayev on the shvua shlei shalach yodam lechas vayeu, that he did not go ahead and use it, which will make a chayev v'insin. The ilu shvua the kfira. The shvua that he swears on kfira is not a shvua hashaymim. Ublav kfira nami loy tischayev shvuas hashaymim. Without kfira, you wouldn't be chayev shvuas hashaymim. Dechsev b'shem achinam ki huzeh dimino nafkalon shemoidu mixas v'kofa mixas. Lafuki mandiyam babakama bagoizel ir pashias kasukan. We had a guys in there. We said that in Kesef Tolves Ami, it's going back on that again. Bottom line is you need Kaifa, Haida, and I don't have it. Whatever the other thing I'm potter from, and he's Maida. Those are the 3 things. So now, over here, what he's Maida is a case of Halach. Here it is. It's here now. So Sfred Gemara Kasha, how do you have Lav Dam Halach, and you still Chayiv Shvua, even though the object's here now? So L'chayra what? You see Halach is Chayiv. The light. I gave you 3 paris, umesu kulam pshia, and they all died by pshia. That's what he claims. One you never gave me, you kaifer. And one, this is where you're going to square the shvus hashaymim. And one died ba'onis. I'm a shayma sacha, and it died ba'onis. And one I'm takachayev. There's my oida. Now, since he's moidu, guys, the shvus hashaymim is it died. It's mesa ba'onis. It's not here. It's not halach. Right? It's not halach. It's not here. The be'inin shlumi l'cha. I was I have to pay you the lav halachu. In this case, it's not halach because the shvuas hashoymim fellas is on the one that he was moided to, and the one that excuse me, the one that he says that I want to get off the hook. I wasn't shalech bayad, and something happened to it. That thing that happened to it, it's not here around anymore, so it's not a case of halach. Hoshma. The Tani Avu, the Rebbe Apotriki, the Rebbe Chia Kamaisa. Now, what's Rebbe Chia Kamaisa? For extra credit, Rebbe Chia Kamaisa. Okay, nothing for the refrigerator tonight. Rebbe Chia said from a Kal V'Chomer that if a person comes along and says you owe me $100 and you claim 50, and you say I owe you nothing. Now, Adam come and say you know 50 from a Kal V'Chomer from that we learned out from Piv and Eid Echad. You learn out that what that shalei tehi hados piv gedol lemei hados edim. Your haidah of your mouth shumi. So that's called Rabbi Chia Kamaisa. Rabbi Chia Basraisa is kelech. Right? There's 2 dinim. 2 din Rabbi Chia. Rabbi Chia Kamaisa is the din of edim saying you owe the money, and Rabbi Chia Basraisa is the halach. Now we're asking a kasha. Loiteman de Omar that says he's going to ask on Rabbi Chia. Monali biyotcha, you have $100 of money in your hands. And he says, I don't have anything. So this is Rav Chia Kamaisa, right? What did Rav Chia say? Does he have to swear? Yes. Yochel Yishava, I might think he has to swear. Al Hashar, on the rest, Hamad Loimar, it says, Al Kol Aveda Asher Yoimar Ki Huzeh, on any Aveda Asher Yoimar Ki Huzeh. It's not like this, right? It's not like this. Not like you say, but it's like this. It's not like you say, but it's like this. That's what we call the chiyuv of shruas by doing mixas. Aloidois piv atamachayvoi, the atamachayvoi alois edim. So now, what's the kasha? We have a brisa that's disagreeing Reb Chia. Reb Chia Kamaisa, right? So in other words, we left Halach and we went back to the original. It says now. The paper trail, I'll say it once, how this Gemara should be back then is because we said that even though Reb Chia does have a Kal V'Chomer, Tana Tuna, he wanted to bring a raya from a Mishnah. We said it's not comparable to our Mishnah. But Tana Tuna, if you want to know comparable to our Mishnah, it's the case of Halach. And now, after we went through the study of Halach, we're going back, and that would be the paper trail. So now, you're asking Mastisa Karamas Reb Chia? Reb Chia Tanu Upalig. Reb Chia, guys, was a Talmud of Rebbe. Reb Chia was a Talmud of Rebbe, and he was the uncle of Rav. Correct. He was uncle of Rav Chavivi. He was Rav's uncle. So he really, and we even say Rav Tanu Upalig. So Reb Chia was a generation earlier. So Reb Chia, he doesn't chapis spilish. He asking on him. He disagrees. He says you would make a shvua based upon what on the Hadas Edom. Fred the Gemara Vakrok Amar, right? He brought a pasuk. He who's there. So in other words, he brought a pasuk. So how could Reb Chia argue on the pasuk? Reb Chia said through a Kal V'Chomer, this brisa brought a pasuk. So says the Gemara, I'll tell you why. And for the Gemara, Hachu, that pasuk we need for Moedim Mixus Ataina. Ki who's there? That's what it teaches me. That what? It's not like you're saying what? It's 100. It's not like that, but it's like this. It's 50. That's the pasuk. So no, I don't have a pasuk to tell me about Hadas Edom. I only have a pasuk that teaches me what? Now, Rev Avua the Reb Abtriki, he needs this pasuk to teach me Moedim Mixus also. Fred the Gemara, Avua the Reb Abtriki, Malacha, he'll tell you, Ksiv, it says who? Ukasiv Zeh. So you have two things. Who and Zeh. Chad lemoida mixus ataina, v'chad that what lahados eidin at yipata. And one's a miyat, dafka like this and not like this. V'idach, what does Reb Chia do with the key? There's an extra limit over here, yet he doesn't learn it. Chad lemoida mixus ataina, v'chad lemoida min hataina. You need memoida min hataina. If you go ahead, guys, and you claim oranges and you moida apples, if you claim chitim and you moida sirim, that you would not be a shua moida mixus. So where's my 100 bushels of apples? I only owe you 50 bushels of peaches. That's not moedim mixus. Now, that's what Rav Chia uses it for. Now, since Avua, the Rabbi Abtriki, uses it to teach me what? To teach me that you're not going to be chayiv by what? By Edim. Where does he know apples and peaches from? Apples and oranges. V'idach, the father of Rabbi Triki, moida min hatayna lesla. He doesn't hold of it. He doesn't hold of it. He says that what? You would be chayiv. He says you would be chayiv. In other words, in the case of bushels of apples and peaches or whatever it is, you would be chayiv. Therefore, he doesn't have a limud. But why? Disabala Reb Gamliel. Change the gersa. Disabala Reb Gamliel. He also like Reb Gamliel that nan. If you make a claim of chitin v'moedah siren, pata, your pata, it's not a shvua moedah mixas. Rabbi Gamliel mechayev, and Rabbi Gamliel says you're chayev because he holds pot. He also like Rabbi Gamliel. Yeah.
If he says 50, I think then you'll be fine.
What?
Well, the chita of the sun is the same amount, no? If you avoid the mix is I say 100 bushels of chitin, I say 50 bushels of siren.
I don't know. I always learned it's 50. You know otherwise?
I thought it was just the same.
I mean, do you see it somewhere or you're just telling what you think?
Actually, I'm not shasi. I think I remember learning that with even in the Lashon, it's just a flip flopping the
Now again, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But that's I learned it was like more than mixas. I could be wrong. Right. I could be wrong. Again, I'm not going to say any other way. But I could be wrong. But again, bottom line is, okay, now. Hahuri Raya, there was this shepherd. Every day, they would give him to watch in front of Adim. They would give him X amount of sheep. Right, Yumachad, one day, Masrullah Bloisade, they gave him the sheep without. L'soif Amalahu, Lahadam, Lahoyidvar Meyolam. He said that what? That you never gave me anything, and there was no aidis to corroborate. Asusade, Asidu Bey the Achel Tarti Minayu. And they brought Adim that what? That he ate too. So he l'chayra. Now, is this Reb Chia's case, guys? It sure it is. What's Reb Chia's case? Where's my sheep? Where's my $100? I don't owe you anything. I don't owe you sheep. Adim come along and say you owe what? 50. Adam come along and said you ate 2 sheep. L'chayra, this is the parallel to what? To Reb Chia's case. So lo Reb Chia, he should have to swear, right? On the other. So I'm Reb Zera, Imisil Reb Chia Kamaisa, if Reb Chia Kamaisa is true, not like Avua the Reb Abtariki, Mishtaba Shaira, he has to swear on the ones that it was claimed. He'd have to swear on the other ones. L'chayra, this is exactly Reb Chia's case. Amul Abaya, Imisa Mishtaba? If what? If Reb Chia is correct, is he going to swear? But Goslin who? He's a Goslin. You don't trust the Goslin with a shvua. So, what do you mean? Forget about Reb Chia. This guy can't swear. He's a Goslin. He stole. He stole. We just spoke out the whole Din of Gazela, right? Guys, you can't trust this guy. You can't trust this guy. So Amalei, so said Rabbi Seir to Abaya, Amalei shekinegdoi ka'amina. I didn't mean that he should swear to get off the hook. I meant that kivan to huyachal lishava, right? The other person is going to swear keneged him. Since he couldn't swear because he's a Goslin, so therefore the owner of the sheep would swear, and he would go ahead and collect. Guys, remember this is very important. Any shua daraisa, what's the halacha? You're swearing not to pay. You're swearing to get off the hook. No shua do you collect. Over here, since he can be toish and yachal l'shava, then we're going to say that what you're going to swear. You're going to swear, okay? So that's what I meant. That I meant that what that since he can't swear, you're going to swear and take. Says the Gemara, if that's the case, hashtanami the lesson Reb Chia. Even if you don't hold like Reb Chia, meaning nechayev mid Rav Nachman, you should be chayev in a shvua like Rav Nachman. In other words, let's say, guys, Reb Chia's shvua is a shvua deraisa, shvua derabanan. Say shvua deraisa, right? Why it's shvua might do mixes. Good, shvua might do mixes. Now, what happens if someone comes along and says, "Where's my $100?" and you say, I never gave you a dime. Says you're off the hook. Midaraisa, you're off the hook. Says Rav Nachman, "Eino the meyes elam ken yeshloi." You're not going to have the chutzpah. So he put on what's called a shvuas hesses. A shvuas hesses, right? This is shvuas derabanan. A shvuas hesses. Hesses meloshin machloikis the Gemara here and the Gemara in the Rashi here and Rashi and shvuas. Rashi always says that we incite loshin hessis right? A sischabi, a masis, guys, the word masis, right? The person masis who causes another person to do an avera, right? So now you incite the nidva to tell the truth, because he's not going to want to swear. He's not going to want to swear. So therefore, so says the Gemara, if you're telling me that you're going to make a shvua to take, so why do you need Reb Chia to create a shvua to take? Even without Reb Chia, I can make a shvua to take. When the guy was kaifa b'kol, no Adam came along. And what? And this guy's a Goslin because he's a Roya. He's a Goslin. You don't trust the guy whatsoever, as the Gemara is going to say in a second. So make a shvua to collect. Right? What does Rav Nachman say? Monali biyadcha, ve'en lecha biyadi, and there's nothing in my hands. It's pata. Bam Rav Nachman, mashvin I say shvuas heset. You make a shvuas heses. So therefore, guys, why do you need Rav Chia to go ahead and say shvua to take? Even later Rav Nachman is shvua to take. And for the Gemara, Rav Nachman takantahi. Rav Nachman again, he says takana. Midaraisa, there's no shvua. He wasn't made. There's no shvua. It's a shvua the rabbanan. The takanta that what? A takana that you should swear and take from a shvua that was the rabbanan layavdinon. Says the top Rashi. The takanta dishekenegdo yishava. A takana that opposite him you should swear. The yitel and collect the havinami takanta the minatoira mishalov l'shalem who yishpa. Only a person has to pay gets off the hook. The yiftim in tashlumin. That's it, right? Remember I told you again. A chiv deraisa that you chayiv to pay, you swear to get off. Vein yishpa v'noita, but you don't swear and take minatoira. V'oisin amanuyim b'shvuyas takantas hachamim hey. The ones that we count in the shvuyas all takana. L'shua deraisa of rabbana takanta. Shua deraisa, like by the case of the roya, which was a shua deraisa because it was made of mixas. If Rabbi Chia is correct, the kanto loyavdina. We don't do. Okay, now, what's the reason the roya couldn't swear, guys? Because the Goslin. Did we learn in the Sechta something about a roya not being trustworthy? You can't buy anything from there. Why? Yeah. So why did you need him to be a Goslin to be Chosh Shua? By his profession, he's right. Even just his mere profession, right? He's a Raya. Fred the Gemara Kasha. This is the way Rashi learns. The Tepikle, the Havile Raya. Let's say that the reason why you can't make the Shua, you have to make Shua connected because he's a Raya. But remember, you the Stam Raya puzzle, Stam Raya is puzzle. Because why? Because he grazes his animals in other people's fields. So the fact that his profession is a Raya should go ahead and tell you what, that he, not the fact he's a Goslin. That the Gemara answers, it's a difference. Like Kasha. Hodi day, when is he chayish for being a Goslin? That's when it's what his own, he'll go ahead and he'll go steal from other people. The Alma, but Alma not. The Alma not. In other words, if he's watching somebody else's herd, then he's not going to go ahead and gain. Then he's not going to go ahead in other people's fields. How will we be permitted to give our flocks to a roya? If you chayish that this guy's going to go ahead and do an avera, how would be able to give him sheep or whatever you're going to give him? Right? He's going to go ahead and he's going to do avera. So what do you have to conclude? We have a chazaka. A person's not going to sin when he doesn't have something to gain. So when it's his own flock, he has something to gain. He doesn't have to feed. Right? It's his flock. He's stealing. Where's somebody else's flock? I'm not going to go ahead and do an avera. So therefore, the only reason he'd be puzzled is because what? Because he was a Goslin in this case, but not because what? Because he was a roya. Because it was speaking about somebody else's flock. Okay, the Mishnah said a very funny lesson, guys. So now we have our case. Look back. Now we're back to a little easier Gemara. A little easier. I don't want to promise you anything. You're all excited to finish Baba Kama, right? I told you. Frying pan into the fire. So now you have two guys are holding onto a talis. This is Zelma Kula Shali, Zelma Kula Shali. What's the din? Like you shava. What do you swear? She'ein lo pachas michetzia. All you swear is there's not in it less than a half, and then yachloku. Guys, it's a funny lashon. What are you swearing? I swear that I don't have in it less than half. What does that lashon mean? What are you swearing? Well, the Gemara is looking for clarity in that ambiguous lashon. What does that mean when it says that I don't have less than half? Says the Gemara. Al dele isle mishtaba. Are you swearing on what you do have? Are you al delesle mishtaba? I swearing that I don't have less than a half. So are you swearing that I have a half? Or are you swearing that you don't have less than a half? Okay. Says the Gemara. Rav Huna dama shvua sheyesh li ba. There's a shvua that I have in it, and whatever I have in it, the ainli ba pachas michetzia is not less than half. Right? I can't have less than half. That's what it's mashma. I can't have less than half. Whatever I have in it is not less than half. It's not a third. It's not a quarter. It may be nothing, but it's not less than a half. Again, if you count, here's the key to understanding this sugya. I can't have less than a half. It's mashma either I have nothing or I have a half. But it can't be that I have a third or a quarter. That it can't be. So now, the name of shvua shekula shali. 1 second. Each guy's claiming it's mine. The whole thing is mine. So let him make a shvua and say it's mine. 1 second. We're not giving him all of it. In other words, we're going to make him make a shvua, but the shvua has to match up to what he's going to receive. And since he's not going to receive the whole thing, he can't make a shvua that what? That I own the whole thing, because they're not going to give him the whole thing. The name is shvua shechetzia shali. So make a shvua that what? I have half. Says Gemara Mar Leila Dibure. Right? Because he says he has the whole thing. He says he has the whole thing. Says Gemara, Hashtanami Mar Leila Dibure. According to you, you're still Mar Leila Dibure because you're swearing I don't have less than half. Right? Says the Gemara, no, the Amma Kula Shali. He says, really saying I have the whole thing, but you're saying Ul Devrechem Shvua Sheish Li Ba. But according to you, and you're making me swear that I can swear that what? That Shvua Sheyesh Li Ba, I have in it, but I can't say I have the whole thing, because that would be Mar Libur. However, whatever I have is Ein Ba Pachas Mechetzia. It's not less than half.
He's only allowed to swear on what the outcome could possibly be.
Correct. He can only swear on what the outcome possibly could be. Correct. He can only swear on the outcome possibly. So he can't be Kula Shali, because first he's lying what he's saying. And he can't say what? He can't say, well, again, he has something. Now, what he's holding on to, again, you're not swearing. This is guys. This is very important. I think this is Yisoidi. This is Yisoidi. If I come along and I say, Yehuda, that's my iPhone. That's not halacha. He gives it to me. Of course not. How it's the only way for me to get that iPhone? Why? Because he's holding on to it. He's muchzik in it. When these two people come along and they're holding on to what? Onto the talis. What? Each one is being moitzi mechaver the other part. We don't need a shvur on what he's holding on to. As we're going to see in the Gemara, they're holding on to the tips, guys. But they're holding on to his theirs. It was theirs. So with that in mind, look what the Gemara now says. Now it makes sense, right? Why are you making a shvu at all? Whatever they're holding on to is theirs. It's in the jurisdiction. Why is there a shvu over here, fellas? Why is there a shvu? Again, if what you're holding on to is muchzik, that it's yours, says the Gemara, Amar Rav Yochanan, shvu zu takanas chachamim. Hey, guess what? The shvu is the takanas chachamim. Everyone should not come along and be taichim b'talisha chaveiroi v'amashalihu. Again, we had the Gemara early, guys. We had the Gemara earlier. Zel nimitzasia, zel nimitzasia. Zel makula shali, v'zel makula shali. What was the case of nimitzasia? Guys found something. What do you say? Oh, it's no sweat of his back. I'll go ahead and grab it. He has a piece. I'll also get a piece. He didn't pay for it, right? So therefore, we stop a guy from doing that. Sure. Guy buys something. He said, 1 second, he bought it. Guess what? I'll do the same thing. I'll go give money also. He goes ahead, he gives money. He's maraheta. What do we do? Throw a shvua on. But the shvua doesn't go ahead and make what's in your possession yours more than the fact that what? You're being toifis. Guys, I think it's your saidi. Again, muchsik, what you're holding on to, a guy wants to take away from you. That was the toifis, right? Kol dolam govar. They're fighting about the boat. No one was muchsik in the boat. Kol dolam govar. Right? That was right. Yachloiku is where what? Where you're both holding on to it, and whatever you have is yours. We'll divide it up. If you can do it physically, or if you sell it, whatever it is. Okay, so that's geschmack. So therefore, that it's the Yisai, this Yeshua is a Shvua de Rabbanon, and it's a deterrent that you shouldn't go along with it, whether it's case of Metzia or case of Mekach Memka, you shouldn't come along around and grab what's not yours. Okay, now, very interesting Gemara now. V'nema migu de choshit amamayna choshit ashvu asa. Let's say if we're choshit, right? If you're choshit a person, but that he's going to go ahead and grab something that doesn't really belong to him. We're choshit that a person will go ahead and grab something that doesn't belong to him. Why aren't you choshit that his shvua also would, right? That if this guy's going to come along and grab a talis from in the hands of his friend, right? And it's what he's over on like sigzol, so choshid nami ashvuasa. Let's be chayish that his shvu also is what is worthless. We're chayish that one of these guys is a gazlan, right? One of these guys grabbed it, yeah. So why do we say migu de choshid amamoina to go ahead and grab something that's not yours? Why do we call grabbing something that's yours? Gezela. Let's be chayish ashvu. Okay, it's a gavaldik kasha. Says the Gemara. We don't say that. Says Rashi. Why don't you say that? Go down a little bit, guys, a little bit. Lo yaminon. The chamahu leinshi is a shvua me is a gazela. You might be mareheta to go ahead and say, okay, he found it. Okay, I paid for it also. And be mareheta when it comes to geld. But when it comes to shvua, then we're going to say the guy what is more machmer. So therefore, we don't say migu de choshen amamayna choshen shvuasa. What? Oh, no, there you're not choshed. You know he's a gazlan. When you know he's a gazlan, you're not going to believe him. Here you're choshed.
Well, he's a gazlan for money, but he's going to.
Correct. If he's vaday Russia, here we're choshed. We're just choshed. This is not vaday. That's vaday. That's vaday. He's a gazlan. He's not trustworthy. Okay. Says the Gemara. So we don't say that. We don't say that. Read the Gemara. 1 second. This already we should know by now. The Eloi Tema Hachi. If you don't say if you don't say that, you're not choshid. Hi dom rachmana moide b'mitzvah satayna yeshava nemo migad dechashid amemoyna chashid shvuasa. Why? How could you have a swear shvua moide b'mitzvah? We'll say what? Says the Gemara. Hasam ishtamuti kamishtamelei. Here, what there? Hasam over there, right? Taisus yeshikasha. Taisus yeshikasha. Okay, we'll do Taisus soon. We'll see a kasha and Taisus. Says the Gemara. Kiderabba. The Amar Rav Idi Barav in Amrav Chista Hakoifa b'milva kasha le'edis. If someone is koifa milva, he's kasha le'edis. Where's the $100 you owe me? Where's the $100 you owe me? What do you say? Don't owe you anything. You're kasha le'edis. Why? You're just buying time. You're buying time. A koifa will be caught. And where's the object that what? That you're supposed to watch, and you say you never gave it to me, then what? Then he's pasalaydis, because you don't have the svarvish namute. Elahadit tani ram rachama arba shaimim tzricha kfir v'mixas v'yadav v'mixas shaimachinam v'ashal nesesach v'asayche nemu migud dechasher amamoyna chasher shvuasa. So how could the shaimah swear? So hasanami ishtamuti kamishtamet savid. What does he holds? Mishkachnu leganif v'tafsinu le. I'll find the ganif and I'll chop him. I'll go to the agam, to the swamp. I'll bring it to you. So therefore, you have the svara v'shtamuti by what? By shaymer. Yehochi hakoyfer b'kodin and my paslay. This name ishtamuti kamishtamit. Sava ad bechashnu mishkachala. Let's say he lost it. So he goes, why are you making paslay? This. Let's say he's going to what? He's going to go look for it. Says ki amina koyfer b'kodin paslay. This could mean the asasadi v'sayidu be the shaita yisudu b'kodin b'beisei. Right? The havayada. You know when we say a pikadus puzzle, where he says openly, you know what? He has it. So in other words, we don't have the svara of what of him going looking for it, because he has it. That's when he's puzzle. Inami davi nakule biyade. It's there. Okay. Says that. Let's see Tais. Because Tais is yes survivors kasha. Nira the hainu taima mishum de b'shvua chamura kidisa biyuma. The reason why you're not choshid is because shvua is more chamer or b'shvuas. So oilam nizdaza. The world shook, alaysisa, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, right, by making a shvua Hashem, so the world shook. Then time Aaron Cain, am I gaslam pasal the shvua? The Amma shekeneg the nishba v'naitel. Why do we say by the roya that you're going to swear, and by the Rav Asi very geshmakra Avi Yokasha? Yishleimar the gaslam pasal the shvua elamid rabbanon. A gaslam pasal mid rabbanon will aid us who the pasal mid daraisa mishamal pasal shvua she'aid. Okay, so in other words, there's a difference between. We're correlating pasal eidis and pasal shvua. The pasal eidis is because you're a Russia. Once you're a Russia, you can't be an aid. But as choshid, for on shvua, you're not choshid. Only the rabbanim. Yesh mefarshim b'shem Rav Yehuda chosid. Hu the chashiv v'mayna. Hu the amamayna kashel the shvua mishum the shema al yedei shvua yifresh migezel. He's going to stop. He's going to go in and separate from gezel. Aval gazlan vaday. This is the teretz I gave you, right? Aval gazlan vaday with your vaday a gazlan. K'may shemamin. In a parish, who adim shvua. No, if you're chayish, then it's one thing. So therefore, that's the teretz I gave you. Okay, geshmak. Okay, very good. We'll stop over here. We have Metzia continues tomorrow. Let's say a kaddish. This dove. Where's dove? There's dove. Dove. Say kaddish, and then we'll say kapitel.